It's another Tuesday morning. How are you doing? Welcome to Parenting Tuesday on Jam 316. So glad you've taken the time to hook up with us today as we have another enlightening conversation on matters parenting. So, mzazi, niko na swali. Do you ever feel like you're tired of your children? Mechoka now. You want a break from these kids. And I'm not talking about a 1 hour break. A week. You remember last year when COVID hit and schools were shut down and people began working from home and the kids were in the house with us, and we thought, well, in about another month or two we'll be back to normal. Hey, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6, you know, and you feel like you want to pull out your hairs. You're thinking, I need a break from these kids. I need a holiday somewhere, just me, by myself, alone, for like a month. Nisahau mambo ya hawa watoto. And sometimes when you take that kind of a break, 2 days later, you feel guilty. You come back home. So we're talking about parenting burnout. How do you deal with it? First of all, how do you recognize it? What are the symptoms of a parental burnout and how do you deal with it? And if you have an experience concerning what we are talking about today, talk to me on SMS 20316 SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. How do you deal with that kind of a situation if you've been there before and you feel guilty afterwards? How do you deal with the guilt? I've got an amazing parenting coach and mentor who will be joining us shortly. In case you've just joined us, you are right on time. Karibu sana. Today we want to talk about parenting burnout. Have you ever heard of parenting burnout? Maybe you've not heard of it being described that way, but maybe as a parent it's something you have experienced. Today we are hanging out with parenting coach and mentor Mercy Wangui. Mercy, how are you doing?
Good morning. I am well.
Karibu sana. It's good to
It's
have you.
always a joy to be here. Thank you.
Great. So Mercy, parenting burnout, ni nini? What is this we are talking about today?
Wengine watasema ni ile kikitu tu unasikianga umechoka. Anyway, parenting burnout is when you feel physically and emotionally overwhelmed by parents' roles.
Oh.
You are tired, both physically, emotionally, because of all these things you need to do as a parent. So somehow you are feeling overwhelmed.
How different is that from just normal kawaida tu kuchoka? You know, sometimes you just feel tired. Even at work you feel tired. So sometimes even at home, you just feel like I'm tired, I just need to take a break. How different is it from that one?
I think with work, there's just a way you are like, hiyo nitadil nayo tomorrow, and you put it aside and you're like, just my head is tired, I don't think I can take any more of this, and this tomorrow I can still do it. With parenting burnout, you can't run away from it.
Yeah.
So you have to see on how you can navigate around it. So it is there. You have to walk into your home. You still have to be a mom. There are still those roles that you have still to do it. Even if you are tired, you still have to do them. So you have to find the joy of doing them.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how different it is.
What are some key indicators that would make one begin to think that, okay, I could be going through a parental burnout?
Wow. I think if I talk for me, I think snapping out, you know, when a child does something and you are on the top of the loudest voice and you are there telling them of how they never do anything right. That is an indicator that kuna kitu inaendelea mbaya. So you are shouting. You're not talking normal to your kids. So anything they do, even if it's the smallest thing that you don't really have to snap out of it, you snap and you start shouting. That is an indicator. Another thing is getting irritated. You're just irritated by everything around.
Okay.
Why someone is not doing this, why you are the only person doing it. Yeah, you know, it's like everything now it's coming back to you. It's me, and you're not seeing anything good with the people around you. Yeah, that is an indicator. And fatigue also is one thing. You're just feeling tired. You are just dragging yourself into doing everything. There's no joy of doing it. It's like, can I just be done with this and I move on to something else? So there's no that joy or that. And then moods, you're just low in your mood. Yeah, there's you know yourself when you're high there, so your mood is very low. There's nothing like motivating you. Yeah, that is also an indicator that something is not right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering, am I right to think that you probably would have more mothers experiencing parental burnout than fathers? And the reason I'm saying this is that when we talk parenting, usually, especially in the younger ages, the younger years, the mother has a lot to do. You know, the mother, many times she's overwhelmed, especially if you have a husband who's not sensitive enough to step into the role of parenting. You know, you have to watch over these children, change diapers, put them to sleep, breastfeed them, cook for your family. It's a bit too much. So am I right in thinking that you probably would have more mothers experiencing parental burnout than fathers?
I intend to agree with you, yes, but also we need to be sensitive because there are dads who, with unavoidable circumstances, they end up being the only parents that are key to the children. Yeah. But if you look at it from the angle you're coming from, yes, mothers tend out to get more of that burnout, especially if you have younger kids and of the same age. If you're having 3, 4, and 5, you can just imagine how crazy that will be. And you still have to be the one cooking, taking care of them. And even your hubby, you have to take care of him. He's going out of work to work. You have to ensure he has breakfast, a clean shirt, ironed, and all that. So yeah, mothers tend out to feel more out of it. And I think what even pushes it to the extreme, it's when now someone has not noticed that it's coming out, because you end up now snapping to everyone, even including now like your hubby and any other person who is in that house, because you feel like nobody cares. And nobody cares about me. I am doing all this, and I'm taking care of everyone, and nobody seems to take care of me. And so then it pushes the mother to that extreme of burnout. Yeah, so I tend to agree with you. Mothers get a lot of it, especially with younger kids. Yeah.
You know, now that we're talking about this, I'm thinking of parents who get twins or triplets or quadruplets. And, you know, we celebrate and with, oh, wow, how cute, you have twins. But now that we talk about this, I'm just wondering, do we have more parents with twins experiencing this? Because a friend of mine was blessed with twins, and they were telling me, man, it's crazy. Everything is times 2. You have to think of 2. If you're breastfeeding, think of 2. If you're putting them to sleep, think of 2. If you are doing this, think of 2. And sometimes it just overwhelms you. So I'm just wondering about parents with twins.
You know, I am laughing.
Yeah. Do you have twins?
Our last ones were twins, and I remember praying to God I should never get twins. So when people would say they want twins, I'd be like, God bless you. I don't think I have the grace of that, because I had just cleared Form 4, so I babysat the twins. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really crazy. Yeah. So I can imagine it's double work, because now you're not thinking of one person. And I have a cousin who had triplets, so you could imagine how that house was. Yeah. Yes. So I have looked at both my twin sisters and my triplet nephews. It's double work, because you have to think about 2. You have to balance the love, because of course they are 2 individuals. Yes, they are twins, but when you look at them emotionally, character-wise, behavior-wise, they are 2 different individuals, and you need to understand that. And also you need to give equal love. You know, that one who is crying a lot, you still have to love them, and you still have to love this cool one. And you have to balance in between breastfeeding 2 kids, feeding 2 kids, and yeah, it can be very, very overwhelming. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's for sure it's double work.
I
Yeah.
can imagine. I'm just wondering, what are some of the things that get parents into that space where they're experiencing parental burnout? Because sometimes we neglect certain things. So what are those things that lead up to me as a parent finding myself in that space?
I think one thing is thinking that you're the only person that you can do everything.
Uh-huh.
One person can do everything. I think it is okay for you, especially for those who are married, to just talk about it.
Okay.
It is okay for your habit like to come in and take over from where you have just left, and it's normal. So talk about it. If you're feeling overwhelmed, talk about it. Just say, I feel like I am doing everything and I would like to feel more appreciated and I would like more help. For others, it's like, especially when you're a new parent, you usually feel like if you get a house manager, they're coming to interfere with your space, because now you're like, this is my baby, this is how I've dreamt to bring them out and all that, and then before you realize, you're feeling so overwhelmed and everything looks like it's running out of your hands. So I think also that is another thing that just died.
Okay. I'm just wondering, what about
that? So it's okay for you to do what you are able to, and you don't have to do everything, because I was
going to say, I'm just wondering, what about the single parents? You don't have a spouse to talk to. You can say, you know what, shughulikia watoto, me, I just need to take an hour with myself. You don't have that luxury. You are the breadwinner and you are the only parent available for this child. How do you cope in that situation?
I think this is where friends come in. If you have close friends who understand you and they have worked with you, I don't think there's someone who will be that bad if you tell them, I just need an hour's break. Can you just hang out with my child and I can just do something else and just give me and myself time to. So I think it's okay. And I think for some it works. I've seen like my friends who take their kids to their parents, if they are within the city, you just like, mom, this weekend, kindly just hang out with your grandchild, and you are able to take that break. But I know it's hard for them because usually they're alone most of the time, and maybe with a house manager if they have to go to work every day. So it can be overwhelming. But look out for those little timeouts, which it cannot be so long, but at least if you can get a day or two, it's something that just refreshes you and gives you the energy to continue for the rest of the days.
Listen to this message. This one is from Wamboi in Uthiru. Wamboi says, Pastor, last year was so stressful for me. Being a single parent, finances were going under. 2 teenage men are at home. You are supervising online classes, not knowing wengine wana watch YouTube. They are eating everything you had stocked for a month in 3 days. They are arguing with you and they think they know better. Pasi, I experienced burnout and fatigue. I was literally praying for schools to open since they are in boarding. After they went, I was missing them within a week. Last year was a harsh year, and this year we are still in a similar position where the children are at home for a lengthy period of time. Wanamaliza stock kwa fridge. They are consuming everything. They are all over the place, and you're just feeling like, how do you handle that, my friend? How do you handle that?
Wow, I feel for you, Amboy. I think, can I speak of my experience?
Yeah.
I had my kids, they had just done, one had just done,
we are losing you.
A teenager. So as we look, hear me?
We had lost you a bit.
Hello.
Ulikuwa umeenda statue.
Am I back?
Now you're back.
Sorry. Sorry.
Now you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was saying you look for something that is you can work with. And I know for teenagers it's very hard because they're very choosy on what they want, and sometimes they just want to be left alone. But hiyo part ya food, I feel you, Wamboi. Yeah, I know. Mlango ya fridge inafunguliwanga 24 hours, so I feel you. And there's no food and you're trying to save for the next day. But I believe God is always has a way out. And you, for sure, they have gone back and you are missing them within a week. That is what it's called being a mother.
Yeah.
So looking for something that you can do together with them. So for us, because we used to be indoors throughout, we started exercising together. And that was fun. Yeah, we bought skipping rope and we were jumping, and they used to look forward to 5 p.m. so that we can skip rope together and exercise together. And that helped us to bond and also feel like there's something we are doing together. And then on the weekends, because now we were all scared about Corona, so we used to look out to Sunday when everyone is indoors, and we would take a walk for an hour.
Wow.
And then go to open space and they can run everywhere, and then we walk back home. And that's how we used to remove the fatigue for the week of just being indoors throughout. Yeah, so just look for something that you think will work for you together with your kid. What is fun? What is it that when together, they feel like you've given them all the attention, and for you also, you feel like I've added 50% of my energy back. Yeah.
Okay, great. So shortly, Mercy will talk about parents who have children with special needs. Because man, that is just another level of parenting. You need extra love, extra patience, extra everything. And it's so easy for a parent with, a child with special needs sometimes to just snap. Sometimes we see parents snapping and doing things that you're thinking, how could you do that to your child? But because we've never been in their shoes, raising up a child with special needs, and man, you have to be there 24/7. We may not understand some of the things they go through. So I don't know what you will have to say about parents with special needs. We'll talk about that shortly. This morning is all about parenting fatigue. Are you there? Are you experiencing fatigue? You are just praying for a holiday somewhere away from these children. Wende to Mahali, wende Geshagi, wende to Mahali for like a week, to breathe in and breathe out. What are some of the things you're experiencing, or what are some of the solutions you've been able to come up with for your situation? Talk to us. 20316 SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. It is Parenting Tuesday. Today we are hanging out with parenting coach and mentor Mercy Wangoi. We are talking about parental burnout. And I have a message here from Martha Ann. Martha Ann says, I periodically and unapologetically get away for 2 weeks from it all, and I really enjoy it. It helps me to get perspective. I used to feel guilty fast, but these days it's later and I don't explain. Finally, the children changamka when I'm away. That is coming in from Martha Ann. Martha Ann, thank you for sharing that. So back to you, Mercy. What about parents who have children with special needs? I'm thinking, especially a single parent and you have a child with special needs. You feel all alone. There's no one to help you. How do you deal with that? How do you not get into parenting fatigue?
Wow. I think I will I will just share what I would have loved to do as because I don't have one special need kid, and I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
And with time I have learned that that child is they are just as child as my child is.
Yes.
It's just that they have something that is special about them, and all they need is just loving them and love them. And they are so sweet once you learn how to love them, by the way. I've hung out with some and they are so sweet. So I'm thinking, if you are a friend to someone like that who is single, they have a special child, and you know for sure what they go through, it is okay for you to offer just to hang out with that child so that they can take a day break. Even if it's just 5 hours, if you can give them that gift, like today I'll just hang out with your child, you can just go somewhere and just breathe the fresh air, and once you're back you can continue with it, because it's never easy. And then so the stigma or that we usually have around us, that instead of people loving you, they point at you, that lady who has a child who is like this and that. So I know usually it's not very easy, but if there's a way, if you have such a friend, if you have such a friend, it's just reach out to them, by the way. Even if it's just hanging out with them and talking with them and just loving on that child, even as they just, by talking, they just relieve what they have been carrying as a burden for a period of time. I think that's what I would say. I know it's not easy, but if you can hang out with them, or if you can reach out to them, or if you can give them that privilege of having a break, why not? Yeah.
Wow. I'm just wondering, how do you deal with the guilt? Sometimes as a parent, okay, you decide, nimechoka, I just want a break. And you book yourself somewhere for like 3 days or 2 days or a whole week. Ama unaenda Geshagi na unazima simu for a whole week. But then even before you get to Geshagi, you start feeling this guilt. I'm just wondering, how do we deal with that guilt? You feel like I'm abandoning them.
I am a victim of that, and I've learned in the longest period is when I've just learned. Imagine my firstborn is 13, is when I am learning that it's okay for me to do something and not feel guilt. I remember even buying yourself a cup of tea, you'd be like, this money I would have bought the bananas to the children, and now you are counting all the mess that you've done. Because I realized as mothers especially, we take care of everyone else and we forget taking care of ourselves. Yet all these people still need us to give them the attention that they need. Imagine it's okay for you to spoil yourself and not feel guilt. Inaitwa kurudishia mwili shukrani. Sababu you've worked so hard. You've worked so hard. You should not feel guilt about it. I think the first time I went out, I paid for a hotel. I went to Mombasa for 3 days. And for once I didn't feel guilt, and it felt so nice. It felt so nice. But I've worked on it in a period of time. So it is okay for you to go to Java, buy yourself a cup of coffee, take a book and read for an hour, and go back home smiling and feeling more energized and not feeling guilty. Because they need you with that energy. They need you for their attention. They need you to keep supporting them. So I know it's something you have to learn. It's something you have to tell yourself that it is okay for me to do this, because you're not stealing or you're not getting it from somewhere else. It's just that you are using the resources that you have to just say that I am taking a break from it. Imagine it's okay. I encourage you that it's very okay.
It's very okay. Yeah. Yes. You know, sometimes as parents, I love what you said, because it's something also sometimes I see my wife struggle with, where, you know, you think of the children first, you think of yourself last. And so the tendency is to neglect yourself for the sake of your kids, not realizing that if you don't take care of yourself, you won't be 100% to give these kids what they need, you know, because they need you ukiwa sawa. So if you're not taking good care of yourself, then it's like you're shortchanging them, really. And so I'm just wondering, is it important as a parent to have a schedule? To have a schedule where this is my me time. It is my me time to Asinsumbu. And the reason I'm asking this is because I remember a friend of mine once sharing that, you know, their mom had a specific time of prayer where they would pray. It didn't matter if the house was burning down or who had come. Mom is praying. When mom is praying, Hasumbuliwagwi, that is her prayer time, period. And so just reflecting on that, I'm just wondering, is it also important for parents to schedule some me time to take care of me?
Yes, it is, and it's very important. Yeah. So it's good for you to schedule. I remember when my kids were a little younger, I used to announce on Saturday, after church on Sunday, I am going to sleep. And with time they learned that, and so because they were younger, so they would look forward also to get that that nap. And it worked for me, because we would nap for 2 hours, all of us, and we would wake up, all of us being so energized. So I think it is nice to have schedule, so that they also get to know that mom also needs or dad needs their own time to be with it. And it's not wrong. If it's working for you, well and good. And if you've not started, look in your program, just look, how is your week? When is that day that you can get an hour and just refresh yourself and just,
Okay.
So it's okay to have that schedule. Yeah.
Question here from Wamboy. Wamboy is asking, how does one take care of the emotions in times of experiencing a burnout when you are unable to leave, especially during times like this when there's a pandemic? You are not able to leave. You're stuck in that house with them. How do you take care of your emotions?
There's that friend you trust. There's that person when you talk to, you feel like nime release everything, and I am feeling a burden that is gone. So that friend of yours that you can call, and they don't mind whichever hours of the day that you can call them, and you know that you can just call and start pouring everything out, and at the end of the day you'll end up laughing.
Yeah.
I think it's one way of doing it. I believe taking walks also can help. You know, where you are just in the open air. I believe even within the estate where you live or wherever you are, you can take some walk somewhere. Now that we are not able to go other places where we would love to, I think that one also would help. Just taking that walk and throwing your emotions outside there. I know women, we are very emotional sometimes. We can even tear. And I don't think it's wrong if you have been pushed to that extreme that to just release it. So it's okay. Take those walks and just let your mind wander outside there. And by the time you're coming back, you're feeling a little better than you could have closed in the house. So just look for a way that helps you. Like I've said, sometimes like just that skipping rope maybe would help you to feel like I am myself and all that. So look for what works for you, because it doesn't have to be the same thing. Look what works for you. When you do it, you feel like your emotional balance is back.
Okay. How do you deal with a spouse, Mr. Husband, who is not willing to help with the children, especially when the children are younger? Some men are afraid of tiny kids when they're still young and suckling and crawling around the house and learning how to walk. Some men are so afraid that they look so fragile. So how do you deal with a situation where your spouse, your husband, is not willing to help? You've been at home the whole day with these children or with this child. Your husband comes home in the evening. They still want you to attend to them. They're not willing to help with the child. How do you deal with that?
Wow. I don't know if I have an answer, but I think I had mentioned before, talk about it. Just talk about it. And what I usually think when you're talking about, you'll identify areas that they are able to bring in their support. Like the way you've said, maybe they are not so much with a small child thing and holding and all that, but maybe once they come home, if you have other siblings, they would ensure that they have taken a bath. They will ensure that a meal is fixed, or feed them, or do homework with them. And you can only concentrate with this one little child. But if it's the only child in the home, look for things that he can help out. As you're talking out, it's like, I know this is not your strength, but if I'll get you a little help on this other side, I think it will help me a little more. And agree how to come in. Because also we need to look at what is working for both of us. Because there can be an explanation of, I left home very early, I'm also very tired, I just need my time. So all that happens, but just look for what works for you and talk about it. Because when once a lady keeps things inside, the way it comes out, it can be very dangerous, because either it will affect the child or it will affect this relationship that you have. So please talk it out. Even if you feel like nothing positive is coming back, keep talking about it so that you don't hold everything inside and it works against you.
Wow. You know, I remember some time back, a friend of mine had written a blog. He had traveled out of the country, I think, with his daughter. She was not even 2 years old. You know, he had this speaking engagement outside the country, and he told his wife, you know what, I'm going with baby. You have your you time. You know, I think they were away probably for about 5 days, if I'm not wrong. And so he took his daughter and traveled with her. And he said he came back with a new respect for his wife. Because taking care of this child, uko peke yako every day for 5 days, kwanza you're out of the country. And I kept thinking, what were you thinking? But he said it was a very enriching experience for him. as a parent, and also it gave him a new respect for his wife, because it now hit him the amount of work that goes into taking care of this tiny human being.
Wow, amen. I think we need more of those ones. We need more and more of those ones. they should learn from them. Yeah, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. So I think we need to learn. Yeah, but if you can take your kids for a walk and just allow your wife to nap for those 2 hours, why not? If you can.
We're losing you again.
You can go play balls. Really helps, by the way.
Okay, Mercy, we'll talk about for that parent.
Back?
You're back, yes. We'll talk about for that parent who finds themselves in that space right now. They're experiencing burnout right now. They don't know what to do. They feel like pulling their hairs out of their head. What can they do to get out of that space? And what do they need to keep doing to protect themselves from ever going back into that space? We'll talk about that shortly. If you have any questions for us today, 20316 is the SMS line, and the WhatsApp number is 0786 316 316. Parenting burnout is what we are talking about. We are hanging out today with parenting coach and mentor Mercy Wangoi. We are talking about parenting burnout. And if you have any questions for us, 20316 is the SMS line. WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. Sometimes you just feel like you need a break from your children for like a week. And then you have guilt that comes in. So back to our conversation, Mercy. I'm just wondering, for that parent who says, that's exactly where I am at today, and I don't know what to do. It's driving me up the wall. It's driving me crazy. I am so agitated. I am so harsh with my kids. I keep raising my voice. What do I do?
Schedule. We start there. Schedule. Look for what is working, will work now. Because I am sure when you are right there now, it affects your relationship with your kids. It affects you yourself. And nothing will be achieved. So number one, start with a schedule. Involve the children also in that schedule, so that it's not only you who is doing it. Like the way we said that you feel like it's only I who is doing everything in this home and nobody is appreciating it. Schedule for them to do it. I know sometimes you're wiping the table, it's something. So when they wake up in the morning, they know my duty is wiping the table. The other one knows my duty is cleaning the utensils. The other one knows it's washing the house. Just have a schedule where everybody is involved and you don't have to feel like you're doing it all. That's number one. Then number two, we've said if you need to take that walk, even if it's for an hour, nothing will go wrong. Just because you've stepped out for an hour, just take that walk out and do it. I think also exercising is good for us, because you can imagine right now with the lockdown, you are in the house 24 hours every day of the week, and sometimes even the body itself just says, I don't want to do anything, because you're not even looking forward for something exciting to do. So look for that exciting thing that you need to do. You know your giftings, you know the areas that gives you the excitement, and do it. So start exercising. You can take walks, you can jog, you can. Internet is here. If you're able to, you can just go and you can get 30 minutes exercise or 20 minutes exercise, and just make it a frequent thing that you do for you, so that it can re-energize you. Talk to your friend. It's okay. Talk to your friends. Just have that day you just talk about nothing, no business, and you'll be able to just feel like there's also someone outside there who's going through exactly what I am going through. So I'm not the only person who is going through it. And you know those babies that you're feeling like they're overwhelming, that's giving them a hug, by the way, it just refreshes you. You know that simple thing of getting hug from your
we are losing family. You.
So look, work on it right now. What is
Mercy, we have lost you a
Hey.
bit. When you started talking about hugging the children, we lost you. So just repeat that.
Oh, I was saying it is so refreshing just to get that hug from your kids, you know, or a relative or your friends. Just getting that in. But I know we are very cautious because you're in Corona period. So get it from within the people you are staying with, so that you're not getting it, spreading yourself too wide. Yeah, so I am thinking about such things. So sit down, appreciate what you have, number one, because sometimes I think we look out on what we have not done and forget what we have already been able to achieve. So just appreciate what you have been able to achieve and what is working for you, and then look out on something that can make you feel more refreshed and energized, and work on that burnout. It might not work on one day, but as you are working through it, you'll start feeling like you are getting it right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering, how can husband and wife work together as a team to be able to navigate through this kind of a situation? Are you there, Ama? You've gone. Mercy, are you there? Seems like we're having a bit of issues with network. I have a message here. This one is from Prissy. Prissy, you say you're a mom to a baby with special needs. And Prissy is saying it's never easy, especially when one has no income and the father of the child has abandoned his responsibility. And you say fatigue is real, and try all means for it to work out. All one needs is to pray for a sober and healthy mind. I hear what you're saying. Thank you so much for your SMS. We're having internet connection problems, and let me see if our guest is back. She was on to something. She's still trying to get connected. But I love what we are talking about, because these are real issues we face as parents. And sometimes, especially that guilt part, because you're so guilty, you don't know who to talk to and how to handle the situation. And so I'm so glad that we can have this kind of conversations where we can exchange ideas, learn from one another, and grow together as parents. So, Marcia, I can see you back. I was asking, how can a husband and wife team work together to be able to solve this issue of parenting fatigue and parenting burnout?
I was saying that with the interesting times you are in right now, maybe what we can do is just look for something that will work out for you, and you can agree as a couple. If you need to give, like, if for the husband, if you need to give your wife some time out, so that they can just take that break, and also working in mind that even the dads are home right now, so they might also need that break because they are feeling like they're overwhelmed with the presence of the kids just within home. So as a couple, look for that, and I say, if even in the evening as a couple, so you can take a walk and discuss these things out when you're in the fresh air and feeling relaxed and all that. So work out something as a family that will give everyone space to re-energize.
Okay, I absolutely love that. And, you know, just even as we wrap up, I think the whole aspect of, you know, it is okay to take a time out. It is okay to take care of yourself. Even as husband and wife, it is okay, you know, to take a time out. I think sometimes in situations like this is also where we can come together as parents. If you have friends or even family, where my kids can come to Mercy's place for a sleepover, so that at least me and my wife can have a time out, you know, or vice versa. Mercy's kids can come to my place. And that's, I think, where it's important to have friends that you can trust your children with. You know, that my children can go to Mercy's place and I know they're okay, they are safe, they will not be exposed to funny things, and me and my wife can have a time out, you know, and we can return the favor. I think that's important. Mercy, what's your parting shot as we wrap up today's conversation?
Self-care is very important. Self-care is very, very important, so that you avoid the burnout. So what I would say is that because you've taken care of yourself, because everybody else needs you. So you need to take care of yourself. And don't feel guilt about it. And it's okay. It is normal for us to go through those phases. So don't feel like you're the only person in the world. Talk about it. Talk about it with your friends. Talk about it so that also you can get a way out of it. They will even give you sometimes an idea of what you can do, and you don't have to like run out. And they can also offer, the way you have said, you can talk to your friend and they can offer, why can't I have your babies and you just take some time out? So talking helps, taking time out helps, and looking for what works for you also.
Yeah.
So don't just say nothing can work for me. I'm sure there's one thing that can work for you, and you can feel like you are back in the right place that you need to be.
Very,
as
very
a parent.
true. And I've realized that as the children continue to grow, if you're teaching them the responsibility, I remember you were talking about a schedule and giving them different duties to do. You get to a place where, your children can handle things at home, and you're able to have more time if you need more time to yourself. And so it's also an investment. When they are younger, we are investing in them. When they grow a bit older, they'll be able to take on some responsibilities and give you more time to be able to, replenish and do what you need to do. Well, Marcy, our time is up for today. Thank you so much for your time and for your insight. I pray that those who are tuned in today have been able to find some solutions to help them if they're feeling fatigued and burning out as parents.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I hope someone has been encouraged outside there.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, our time is up for Parenting Tuesday today. My friend, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Your children need you alive, healthy, and well. Don't pour everything into them. You forget to take care of yourself. Self-care, as our guest said today, is very, very important.
For this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs, from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.